Good morning and welcome to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are working on my wife's new van, not the old van. The 2006 Chrysler Town and Country is out. Still have a playlist for it. Check it out if you're looking for those videos. This is a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan SXT 4.0 liter. So a little bit newer, a little bit bigger, and a little bit fancier. So a lot of bit fancier. So this has pretty much every feature 2008 had to offer. So yes, by 2021 standards, it's out of date, but for the Moore household, this is fancy. You've seen my other vehicles. The 2014 Sentra was the nicest car I've ever owned, and it was the base model. It had power windows and cruise control, and that's about as fancy as it got. So we buy older vehicles, I fix them, we sell them, we buy another old vehicle, fix it, sell it. This one is pretty nice, and it doesn't need a whole lot of work. My wife has already told me I'm not allowed to just turn around and sell it, so we might be hanging on to it for a while. It doesn't seem to need a whole lot of work. This has actually been very well cared for from what I can tell. Honestly, probably better than I care for mine, mostly because they cleaned it. I don't clean my vehicles very often, especially the engine bays, because it's time consuming, tedious, and well, I live in a dirt area. So very nice van. Today we are just doing basic maintenance, which is an oil change. We're just doing a basic oil change. We're using full synthetic. I'm not sponsored by anybody in this video whatsoever. This is just me doing maintenance and filming it so you know how to too. I pulled open the owner's manual that came with this van, and it does not cover the 4.0 liter. I don't know if they just don't have one for the 4.0 liter or if the previous owner got an aftermarket or bought a owner's manual and he bought the wrong one. I don't know. It covers the 3.3 and the 3.6 or the 3.8. Whatever versions they are, it covers those. Nothing about the 4.0. The fluids and capacities, nothing about the 4.0. Doesn't even tell you what type of engine oil. Doesn't tell you how much. There's nothing about the 4.0 liter in the owner's manual I have. So I need to either find that or just figure it out. So on that note, I was looking, there's not a lot of info online about these either. So this was a very not overly produced vehicle. They didn't produce a whole lot of them apparently, and there's not a whole lot of people with them. So there's very little information online. I'm going to try and help with that, post some videos so that there is something online for you guys. So today we are using 10W30 Advanced Full Synthetic by Castrol. And Fram oil filter. I'm not a fan of Fram oil filters. I don't know that there's anything wrong with them. It's just not my personal preference. I am a Mobil 1 oil filter, but not oil guy. And if I can't find a Mobil 1 black oil filter, then I usually go with K&N white filters. If I can't find either one of those, then I'll usually gravitate towards Royal Purple or whatever I can find. Today's case, Walmart was like out of everything this size, so I ended up with a Fram. Nothing wrong that I know of, just not my favorite because they're just not my favorite. So, but that's what's going on here. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This should be a super easy process, should be a super fast process. I just drove this around for about 15 minutes to get it nice piping hot so that all the sediment built up in the engine got caught in the oil, and it's now draining down the pan. So when I open that plug, it should all just come right out and you can fill it with clean, start fresh. And yeah, stick around, hit that thumbs up if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. Right now this is probably the first video I'm posting with this van specifically, so stay tuned, there's more coming. Let's do it. As usual, make sure your e-brake is on and your tires are chocked before getting under. I'm pulling out the new filter right now just to get started so I don't have to come out of the van one more time. I'm going to fill up this filter. If it's mounted as it sits on the floor right there vertically, then I will fill this all the way up. If it's horizontal like this, it's perpendicular to the van, I only fill it about halfway. As you see right here, it's sideways. If you fill up more, you'll make a mess. Unscrewing sideways filters is actually really clean. Just bust it loose, let the oil drain, and once you're tired of waiting, go ahead and undo it the rest of the way. I do the filter first over the drip pan, my catch pan, because if I accidentally drop the filter, I don't splash oil everywhere. I do drop the filter here and there. As you saw, I used some of the old oil dripping out to coat the gasket on the new filter. Also make sure the gasket on the old filter actually came out. You don't want to double up. This is your drain bolt for the oil. You're just going to unscrew it, pull it out, and let the oil fly. As you can see, this is pretty dark. It was due for a change. Alright, while the oil's draining, come up here to your oil filler cap. You're going to go ahead and bust this off. That'll allow the air to escape so you can finish draining your oil. Once all drained, put a new crush washer on your drain bolt. I always use a new crush washer, and go ahead and turn it back in. I don't know the torque spec on this because I didn't look it up. I don't really torque my oil drain plugs anymore because it just takes too much time. Just go until it's tight, more than finger tight. This is just getting it started. You do not want to cross thread. So as you can see, I'm just using finger pressure. I'm not gripping it with my whole hand yet. And once I do, we're just gonna go just like that. I'm not torquing on it, I'm not straining, just getting it tight, you know what I mean? And then you're just going to clean up your mess so you can tell if you end up with an oil leak. If you remove the oil and there's oil later, you know you're leaking. So that's my thing. Get rid of this oil pan, catch can, stick a clean funnel in the oil fill tube, and go ahead and dump in your oil. I put in 5.5 quarts, with 1/4 quart being in the filter from earlier and 5 1/4 quarts right now. And just dump it in as fast as your funnel allows you. And there's my other 1/4 quart. Clean up, put your oil fill cap back on, and you guys are pretty much it, man. I mean, it's an easy job, easy to do. I recycle my oil at my local auto parts store. Please do so responsibly, however you do it. Alright guys, that's it for changing your oil. I think in the beginning of the video I mentioned Castrol Edge Advanced or something like that. I'm just using Castrol Edge in this video. I will link some oils down below as well as the filter for your convenience. I am not particular to oil. Okay, a lot of people are. I use full synthetic in all my vehicles. That's the only really particular thing I have. I use Castrol Edge in this video because it was on the cheaper side at Walmart this week. Typically, if all the oil was the same price, I would go Pennzoil Platinum. That's my favorite. For no other reason than it sounds in my head that the vehicles tend to run better, but that's probably in my head. That's just the way that goes. So there's nothing wrong with Castrol, as far as I know. There's nothing wrong with Mobil 1. There's nothing wrong with Pennzoil, Royal Purple, Amsoil, whoever you want to spend your money with. Just get some oil, as long as it's wet and slippery and it meets the specs that your vehicle needs. I mean, come on guys, it's oil. Change it out when it's supposed to be. Change the filter out when you're supposed to. Some people do filters every other oil change. I do it every oil change. That's where that is. At this point, all you really got to do is start up the van, let it idle for a few minutes on the ramps, go under, check, make sure you're not gushing oil and dripping. Take it on a test drive, come back. When I say test drive, I mean 5-10 minutes, nothing big. And check the dipstick after the oil settles. So give it 15 minutes when you get back, check the dipstick, make sure you're good. From what I'm understanding, from what I can find online, this needs 5.5 quarts. I put in exactly 5.5. I dumped about 1/4 quart in the oil filter just to give it a head start when you first turn that van on right now. Not necessarily necessary, that's just what I do. And then so 1/4 quart in the filter, and then I put 5 1/4 in the crankcase. So thanks for watching. If you guys want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button to make sure to let me know that I'm doing a good job. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Check out the playlist, which right now this will be the only one in there for another week or two, but there's more coming. Yeah, guys, give me something positive in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.